All right. I know it's been a while since the last video has been posted. We've been very busy trying to get this house built. It's been, an ongoing process. We try to capture as much video as possible. So now that we're kind of taking a little bit of time to, I guess, relax and get more planning going, I can revisit making these videos and share them out for everybody to watch. Currently, Rachel and my stepdad are laying out the base plates. This is a time-consuming process because they had to go through, drill out the holes, put down some kind of foam padding underneath to help seal any low or high spots, caulk around the different edges, and then fasten them down. Now I'm up on top there while they're doing the base plates to finalize the purlins up there, as well as cut off the ends and get them prepared for the subfascia, just so we could eventually get some roofing up. Here we are with one of the window box installs. We built the window boxes down on the ground just so we could get the dimensions right. Here we're just putting in the king studs there for the window, as well as the jack studs, and then some girts to tie everything together to kind of keep the king studs there in place. This was a process as well, as we had to make sure and keep everything level and plumb, and then just made sure everything fit and was good to go. So another awesome day out here at the property. Had a huge rainstorm event kind of go through, so it's a little muddy and wet out here. But more progress on the house. Got a lot of the windows put in and stuff, so more progress there. Tried to get some of the subfascia on so that we could start putting the roof sheathing on, and then the side sheathing as well, just so it can kind of seal in the garage there, as it still is getting water, which is not fun because that's where all of our stuff's at. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. All right, now basically gonna start working on some more girts here. I put one in over there on the corner on the right hand side, put another in over there on the left. Gonna run a string line from that side all the way across to the other side so I could get a good plane to install the other girts, and just so that they're all lined up, so when we put the walls on, it'll be all nice and flat and straight. And now I'm just going through and actually adding the girts here. Just looks like I had to actually cut them to size a little bit on site there, as well as notch out the edges so that they fit in between the columns and stuff. So another great day at the property, another great weekend, 3-day weekend. Got a good amount done, not as much as I would have liked. These gable end purlins here, I was cutting off the tails of those to get it to my 2-foot eave extensions that I was wanting. I ran a string line from the corners. Those were good. However, it got off on the peaks, so it was way off on the peaks. So I cut them. They were wrong. Then I had to go back and add these little bitty tail pieces on there to extend them out to the exact dimension that I need. So I kind of lost a day there, but I did get some more work on the girts and some more window frames in the house. So yeah, we'll see how next week goes. Got work, of course, so be minimal effort out here. And then next weekend we're actually going to Disney 5K, I believe, so I won't be out here, but still making some good progress. I guess we'll see how tomorrow goes. I moved on to starting on the zip for the roof here. I needed to get that down so I could build out the valleys between the roof and the garage. They're So just getting that zip down, so then I could come back and put in the actual ridge and how it all ties in there. Yeah, you can see me here now starting to lay out where that ridge is going to die into the house from the garage. Basically measuring from that the garage peak to where that end goes, and then here I've got it cut and figured out. That cut wasn't too bad. It was just a normal pitch there. The next few cuts, which I don't think I actually captured from the ridge to the house, kind of like the little, I guess, rafter pieces, if you call it that. It was like a multi-cut. It was like the roof pitch one direction, and then the garage pitch the other direction. So it was like a compound miter, which was interesting, but I got it done. Right here, I'm just taking forever measurements and remeasurements, and then pulling out my phone and watching videos, and then more measurements, and then snapping a line. And I think it took me, I want to say half the day, or at least the whole day, to figure this out. One, because I've never done it before, and two, it's just a lot of math and angles and stuff. But I got it done. I don't think I actually got a finished view here. I think we'll get a finished view later in the video, but yeah, this is just a process of me measuring and remeasuring many, many times. There I am in the background building out some window boxes. Rachel here is cutting the middle pieces that go in between the girts to give them some more support. She had a ton of those to cut. And then I think I'm just moving some window boxes out there to get ready to install them. And here Rachel is going through and installing all of those middle pieces. There were a ton to install. She was installing some girts as well, so she was doing a lot of work there. Here I am installing the rough opening for the back door. Same process for like the normal doors, putting in the king stud there, getting it right size, and then coming in, installing the jack studs to support that big huge header there. You can see I had to kind of force it into place, or at least coax it into place. There's those jack studs getting installed there, just making sure everything's all plumb and level. Now I'm just using the header for the big door to figure out the spacing for the base plates, and then just installing those base plates down. I think I ran out of camera time. That's why I don't have the full door going up, but you can see me at least installing the base plates there, drilling and screwing stuff down. Here I am just going through and installing all the subfascia, making sure it's in plane with the girts coming down, and there's just basically a lot of those to install on this side. I want to say there are 7 or 8 of those, and then 4 or 5 on the other side, and they basically just tie into the subfascia there on the gable ends. Kind of gives it all that support for the roof, and then something for the drip edge to attach to when I get to that part eventually. I left this last piece long so that when I'm doing this gable end piece here, I have something to rest it against, as well as I can cut it to the exact dimensions that it needs to be, so it's a nice 90-degree angle, so that the roof kind of installs easier, I guess. Here's a good view of the garage tying into the roof. You can see that ridge there, the rafters, and then basically how that frame kind of was built out for that area there. And then I'll go back and cover that with zip sheathing as well when I finish the house roof. More subfascia on the gable end. This time I ran a string. Actually, this time I measured exactly where that 2 feet overhang needed to be, and then I ran the string across and set it on those lines, and then basically went back and marked and cut everything. It took me a little bit longer than snapping a line, but this way I at least knew that I didn't get the chalk line off by snapping it improperly. Here, Jack came in and helped run the machine. So I didn't have to do it all by myself. It actually sped it up a lot faster than me having to go all the way down and move the machine and then get back up there. So it was nice to have extra work. And then basically just finishing up those cuts here. Here we are installing a couple more girts and then the big office window boxes and window rough openings. These openings were massive. Getting the box into place was a pain. Luckily I had Rachel's help, otherwise I wouldn't be able to put those boxes up myself. The other ones I could get around, I can move stuff around to put those in place, but these office ones were massive. Same with the front windows on the front of the house. Those were big and needed help with those too. But yeah, here we are just kind of getting stuff in place. Here we are going through adding in the rest of the girts, windows, window boxes, all the rough openings for the windows, more filler girts, and basically just getting the rest of that framing in for the walls, the windows, the doors, etc. This part took a while because there was a lot of work to do. It's basically all the same stuff. That's why I've got it in this kind of montage looking view. It just basically the same work, and a lot of it. It took us a while to get all the framing members in place, especially with only being able to work on the weekends and after work and stuff. But we got it done, and then which led into eventually getting the windows in and then starting the zip sheathing on the outside of the house. Here we are just doing a little bits of random things. Looks like putting up the subfascia on the front of the house, putting in the zip sheathing on the sides of the house, putting in more support for the girts, as well as putting up the zip sheathing around the windows. What we did was we put the zip sheathing all the way around and covered the windows, and then we just went back with a router and cut out the window boxes that way. That way we didn't have to take the time of measuring and then cutting the zip sheathing and placing it around the windows. We could just cover everything in one fell swoop and then go back and cut out the windows with the router, which was a lot faster. All right, another great day out here at the property, or evening I should say. But finishing up these gable end windows here, The box we built for this one got a little jacked up, so it's not up there. This box is just set in place. We still need to actually install it and put that third header up there. But all these middle ones here are pretty much installed. I still need to install the middle cripples there, and then put all the lag bolts in those girts that connect to the column. But yeah, we're pretty much ready for sheathing here on the sides. As you can see, I got sheathing already started. The gable ends up top still need some love, some more girts and some bridging and stuff like that. And then we'll continue up. Still got to work on the roof. This side here is all ready for sheathing. Just haven't started on it yet. But yeah, we'll see how tomorrow goes. You can see Rachel and her mini-me here. Her teaching the little one how to use the saw and some useful skills. Now you can see here I've got that ridge a little covered now with some zip sheathing, as well as a good portion of the walls for the house. We had to get those up so that we could get the windows cut out and taped, because we do have some windows coming in a little bit later from where this video was made, so we had to hurry and get that prepped so that the windows could be installed. And here we are kind of going through. I'm in the white suit cutting out those windows. There was a ton of dust and it was getting everywhere. It was annoying. So I got one of those painter suits to wear when I was cutting those out. We're all going through. I'm cutting out as well as installing some taping around the windows to get those sealed in and ready for the windows to be installed. Rachel and I believe Jack is going through and fixing some of the issues that we had with the windows. We realized that we didn't have the king studs going all the way down to the ground, or at least having a good connection to the ground, so some of the sills were sagging. So they were just going through and fixing the framing for those and getting those straightened up so that when the windows went in, it would go in without an issue. And here Rachel and it looks like my mom are up taping up some of the windows while the window installers are installing the windows. Jack basically lifted them up with the telehandler to make things easy on them. They only showed up with a couple of ladders. They didn't have any real way to lift the heavy ones up, so luckily Jack was there to help that. Otherwise, yeah, it would have been interesting to see how they would have handled that. You could see some of the windows installed there. They're still working on installing all the windows. Apologies for the shaky drone footage. Normally I have a orbiting feature that I could turn on, but for some reason it wasn't working here, so I was trying to manually control it, and it wasn't working as well as I had hoped. With the press of the windows over with, I was able to get up on the roof and start installing all those roof sheets. Also time consuming like everything on this house, but luckily it was cloudy out, and it was kind of easy going. It was just honestly throwing it up there, nailing it down, and repeating. Pretty good day today. Got pretty much all this roof on one side done with the long sheets. Gonna probably have to come in tomorrow, cut all the half ones. Gonna try and get the tape on before sundown. It's supposed to rain tonight, unfortunately, so that sucks. But I think maybe a couple more days and we'll have the roof all done and taped in, and then we'll be good to go. We'll see how tomorrow goes. Another great day out here at the property. I honestly can't remember what last update I gave, so I'm going to give another one for possibly repeat. So we got windows in, we've got the bifold door, bifold window, and then just a whole bunch of other windows, big windows, etc. Got the, where's it at? Got the roof right there. don't have this part of the roof just yet because it's been too windy. Haven't been able to get up there and get that on there. Planning to this weekend when I have more time and have a little bit of help to set some of the panels to get me started. But should be able to knock it out this weekend, hopefully. And then today I've just been working on getting the chimney area kind of built out. I got the sill plates down. Where's my finger going? Got the sill plates down there, and then just some of the middle support studs there. Still got to build out the actual frame from 2x4s. I just used the 2x8s there to kind of fill in where the normal girts would have went across. I just kind of filled that in the shape of the chimney, and then the actual framing will kind of tie into all that. Yeah, that's probably gonna take a few days to actually do as I'm figuring out as I go. But yeah, we'll see how tomorrow goes. Beginning work on the chimney framing. I split this up. I got like two views here. One is of the sides of the chimney in that top left corner, and in the bottom right corner is the front part of the chimney. Just figuring out the spacing of things, laying them out, and then nailing them all together. This was actually pretty fun because it was the first time actually framing out the like studs and stuff like that, getting me a taste of what we're gonna do for the interior. But I picked it up. It got a lot faster the more I did it, so looking forward to the actual interior piece. But anyway, once I got the framing done, we started to stand it up on the outside. I needed help from Jack and my mom there to stand up the big piece. That one was pretty heavy. The side ones were light and pretty easy. But yeah, I was just kind of getting it in there, getting it level, plumb, and in the right position. Another hot, sweaty, good day here at the property. Basically worked on the other half of the roof. Got maybe a third, maybe half done. I don't know. There's a lot of work, a lot of hot work. But also made progress on the chimney here. Just framing that out so I could get some zip sheathing up on there and get the house sides completely closed in. And then, I don't know what else we're gonna do next. Get the roof on, get that chimney fixed, sheathing done. We need to get the doors, the actual door still in. Garage doors, we need to order those. Actually, we ordered those, they're on their way. They probably won't be here for a little bit, but then once all that's done, then the house will be technically, I don't know, I guess that's quotes, quote, unquote, sealed or dried in. And then we could probably get a exterior framing inspection or something like that, just to make sure that everything's good to go before we start framing out the interior. Yeah, we'll see how tomorrow goes. It's the weekend, so got a full day ahead. Yep. To shorten this video a little bit more, since it's already kind of running long, I went ahead and combined a few of these videos into one frame. This is just finishing up that side of the roof. This day was very hot. Luckily the clouds were here or there, but I was stupid, did not wear sunscreen and a tank top, so I got this weird ass tan from this whole day, but was able to knock out the rest of the roof. I didn't capture all of it, ran out of footage, but the roof is done finally. But yeah, it was just a lot of the same, going up through, nailing, taping, etc. And then here's the final footage for this video. Roof all done, all taped up. The chimney's still there, but I did go back and cover it up. It's just not here.